So today I have the pleasure of being here with Dierseye. Is that how you say it, or how you say it? Dierseye? How do you say it?
Dierseye, I've heard it pronounced Dierseye quite a few times.
Okay, Dierseye, otherwise known as Carter. Uh, been on, been playing Star Wars CCG since you were a kid. How long have you been playing this game?
I started in 4th grade, actually. I would have to look up the exact year. Early to mid 90s. My buddy Steven, who I hadn't really met at the time, he told the whole story on his interview. I'll give you kind of my perspective on it.
Yeah.
He told it pretty complete. I was kind of a rough and tumble kid, you know, like uh, played pretty physical games, got in fights at a young age, and my parents actually moved me to a new school for 4th grade. And some of the older kids were playing this Star Wars game that was really cool. And one of the older kids noticed that I was noticing them playing this Star Wars game, and he immediately was like, "Would you like to come play? You should come learn this game. We're friendly here." And I was like, these new kids are great. I like this. And that was Steven, and we've been friends ever since. So like basically, yeah, he showed me how to play. The other older kids all kind of fell away. It just became me and Steven for a long time. You know, I played all through middle school. Once I got to 6th grade, he was a year older. So 6th and 7th grade, I played. We were going to tournaments like almost every other week, kind of thing. Like going on Saturdays to Non-Sport World, which doesn't exist anymore. Non-Sport World's been closed for like 20 years.
It's a shame.
I say again.
No, so that's a shame. That's a shame. It's a shame.
Yeah,
Yeah.
none of those card shops really last a long time. It's just kind of the nature of the beast. Uh, uh, yeah, you know, I was also playing a lot of Star Trek 1E at the same time. I played a lot of 1E. It got to the point where when we got to high school and Steven kept playing Star Wars, and I was kind of done with it. Admittedly, I was kind of all my friends had started playing Magic, and I was still playing a little bit of Star Trek. So about like 2001 ish, 2002 ish, I was I took a pretty long hiatus from Star Wars. I
It
played some
makes
of that Lord of the Rings game with Steven. I was terrible, terrible at it. A lot better at Star Trek. And then yeah, I've been a hardcore Magic player ever since. I mean, you can see sitting behind me right here, like this blue binder
oh
is all my blue cards that are so like
nice.
and there's one for every color. There's two for color. I have to get a new white one because it's full. So like I'm a pretty dedicated Magic player. I don't play standard or competitive anymore. Like I thought about playing modern for a while. I've kind of settled into EDH because of Steven again. He's the one who talked me into starting playing Commander.
Commander's fun.
So that's
Yeah.
predominantly what I play now. Is I came back to Star Wars for the retro season 2023 again because of Steven. He started sending me messages saying, "Hey, Star Wars is back. You should come play." And I remember making the excuse, you know, I can't afford that right now. I don't want to buy into another card game. And then he hit me with the "it's free," and I had no answer to that. So I
Nice.
was kind of like, well, let's give it a shot. And so yeah, I signed up for Retro 2023, and I've been playing Retro ever since. It's been fun. I thoroughly enjoy it.
That's awesome. I'm really glad. And so, I mean, I guess so. I like to kind of go back a little bit. So you said around 2001, 2002, you're kind of done with that. Obviously, 2001 to the very end, they lost the license. So
That's right at the
was
end
it
of the game. Yeah, exactly.
was it really like do you remember like what set you kind of quit at by any chance, or
Ooh,
like
it was
why?
right.
Yeah.
So it's funny you mentioned that. So my quit was kind of jagged, not like a hey, I'm done right now. It was more like, oh, I'm not going to buy too much into that new set. I'll buy a little bit of this. So I have Reflection 2 cards that I'd bought when they were new, Death Star 2 cards when they were new. Very very little Episode 1 cards. I remember when those came out and I did not like them. So I bought very little, but I remember the sets when they came out. I just didn't play them.
And so why was it? Was it just like the gameplay wasn't new? Because supposedly, I mean, Death Star 2 came out. You start with the three effects. That was kind of different. But were you kind of done ish by that time? Like
Yes, I remember. I remember when Endor came out because I was playing Raw Ops and I was super mad about Battle Plan and Battle Order. I did not like Battle Plan and Battle Order. Being a Raw Ops player, they pissed me off. I can't lie. But I stuck with the game for a little while longer. Once you understand how those cards work, they're not nearly as awful like I thought they were initially. But yeah, no, it was I kind of petered out around Death Star 2. Reflections 2 era was kind of where I was falling off.
Okay. And the peak of the game, would that be around like special edition when Realms came out, or like
Oh,
kind of when?
I love special edition. I bought so much of that. Yeah, special edition, Jabba's Palace, Cloud City. I bought tons of those sets. That was my wheelhouse right there for
Okay. And is your opinion the same today? Like, today would you say I would love to play Premier Special Edition? Like they had that in the Retro League. I don't think they have that anymore. Are you like the guy that would like to see that again, or how do you feel
I
about
feel
it
like you're
now that
jumping
you're
ahead
older?
a little bit. That was one of my answers to one of your later questions. But yes, I would love to see that kind of thing. And it's not that I understand that retro is going to be 6 weeks or 6 games of the same format. And to be honest, that's probably going to be the only way that a lot of people play the retro formats is through retro league. So it's kind of I'm kind of torn in two on that one. Where yes, I would love to play Premier Special Edition. Do I think everyone else would? Not necessarily. If that makes sense.
And why not? Why do you like Premier Special Edition so much, and maybe other people don't? Right?
Uh, I've definitely found that there are a lot of problematic cards that I did not know about as a child. There are a bunch of Dagobah cards that we never played that I see people play now that are just abusive. Numbers comes to mind. All the insert cards, clouds. There's a lot of abusive cards in the early game that kind of ruin the game.
Okay. And you're the type of player whereas if we had a ban list, this would make you happy. That you think this would make it more playable for you and or others, and
You're definitely again. That's one of the later answers to your questions, but yes, that is absolutely correct. Steven kind of alluded to it in his interview that there's some people that are really purists that we would like to keep the formats the same, and then there are people like me that have played Magic for 20 years with a ban list, and I think that makes a little healthier format. Again, just my opinion.
No, I understand, and you're right. There are tons of kids. Like when I was a kid, I didn't understand. Mike, why would you use this? I didn't
Oh yeah,
understand numbers.
exactly.
Order to engage.
Yes.
I didn't.
These
You're
cards
right.
seem stupid.
Yeah, I mean,
They're really good, actually. They're really good, by the way.
they do damage multiple ways, and I really honestly I like the creativity of the creators because they're trying to find different ways to play the game, and unfortunately,
Absolutely.
I think their play testing in hindsight through interviews later, we know that it wasn't that great, right? They had
Totally. Yeah, totally.
they had some big issues, so I get it. So for you, basically, it's just the fact that you like a format where you can deploy a guy in Drain and not have to pay 3. And you do feel like
Sure.
Premier Special Edition like a faster format, it just because those kind of counter cards don't exist in PDS2, and that's kind of where kind of your fun drops off, or I guess Endor really.
I wouldn't say that my fun drops off. I thoroughly enjoy playing Premier Death Star 2 now.
Okay.
Like I said, as a kid, when you don't fully understand and I was in 7th or 8th grade when that came out, so it wasn't like I had a really super informed opinion to begin with.
Right, and as a local meta, and I'm guessing you went to and you said you went to this one place, so it was a local tournament, like every other Saturday. You said you didn't go anywhere else, you didn't travel. That's kind of
Not
what
really,
the meta was.
No, not for Star Wars, no.
Yeah. Okay.
It's interesting for Star Trek. We did. Shoot, I remember we played multiple tournaments at Comic-Con. I remember going to Voyager Warp Speed tournaments. I watched a board map video just recently where Steven talked about going to the premiere of the Blaze of Glory set. And I was like, I was at that. I went to that. I sat right next to him at that event. I remember that. So yeah, for Star Trek, I feel like I traveled a bit more just because it was a necessity to find tournaments and people to play with. Even after that game ended, I remember going with Steven to they called it an Arby's tournament. I wonder if those gentlemen are still playing at Arby's. It was a Star Trek unsanctioned tournament at an Arby's restaurant. And apparently those guys played at Arby's all the time. That was their go-to. And I had a great time with those guys. I was like, this is pretty chill. These guys are 1E players. And I didn't have to go that far, maybe 45-minute drive. I've probably played a bit more Trek than Wars.
Okay, and so your personal opinion, I mean, so I think Steven said, I mean, he played both Star Trek and the Star Wars CCGs. I think he said his personal opinion was like he felt that Star Wars kind of the mechanics and kind of the lore, the flavor was more intertwined, Do you have a similar opinion, or do you think that Star Trek is a better game in some ways? Or
They definitely they definitely came up together. You definitely see elements in one and the other. Obviously, you win the game in a completely different way, but you do see a lot of the overlapping elements in Decipher games. Yes. Even with Lord of the Rings, you see overlapping elements because it's all Decipher, and they went out of their way to be different than Magic in everything they did. So I almost say you see the similarities with the Decipher games more than you do with, say, I always consider Magic to be the king, if you will, of CCGs, of TCGs. So I compare everything to that, and they really went out of their way to not be Magic in Decipher. They really did.
right? I mean, I know from Lord of the Rings, like they carried uniqueness, right? You look at Aragorn, it has a little dot there, right? You know, you only have one Aragorn, right? If you have generic elf, you know, Lorien elf, there's no dot there. You can have, you know, 4 of them because 4 in a deck there. What's the similarities between Star Trek and Star Wars that you can tell from a design point of view?
So this is a little bit partial to me, but I really like playing space decks for Star Wars. So every deck is a space deck in Star Trek, you know. So you're in space. I mean, obviously, you're putting guys on ships and moving ships around. There's a lot of vehicles. It's really interesting. There's no. I guess it's not true. They have added vehicles to Magic recently, but back in the day, there was no vehicles in Magic. That was the big thing. Is you're using large machines, and I know it's kind of a weird thing to say, but it's the same sort of idea. You know, you're putting guys onto vehicles and then moving those vehicles to do things. You see a lot of that in both games. I'm sure there are other ways that I haven't really prepared that much for this question. That's a good question.
No, it's okay. I mean, and you mentioned Magic. I mean, I think a lot of the vehicles in Magic, like you'll tap a creature, and then suddenly that vehicle becomes an artifact creature, which it can attack. So you know, a little bit of that there. That's two. And so, were you playing these 3 card games, you know, Star Wars, Star Trek, and Magic simultaneously for a while? Or
yeah, for a while I was, yeah. Shoot, and then even when I was in 7th or 8th grade, Pokemon cards came out, and we all tried that one too. Like I didn't stick with that one, but there's another game, and then Young Jedi came out about the same time. So really, I was playing like 5 games at once or something. But yeah. I was a busy eighth grader.
That's true. And did you ever do that Jedi Knights TCG? Like they had like a little.
I never played Jedi Knights. I'm familiar with the game, but I never got into that one.
I never got it in there either, right? It seemed very much they were trying to kind of like, you know, we had a 2nd edition for Star Trek, right? Mm-hmm. It seems like they were trying to do a 2nd edition for Star Wars, but they never got around to it. I guess their license was expiring too quickly, but
they couldn't do it anymore. Yeah. Lucasfilm wouldn't let them.
Yeah, it feels kind of feels like that way, dude. And so is that the same today, right? So you're still playing Star Wars, Star Trek, and Magic today.
I'm not really playing Trek. I mean, I'm more collecting Trek than playing. I haven't played the game in years, but I have binders and binders and boxes full of Trek cards at this point, quite a bit. I've completed a few sets. I started doing that for a while. Like I completed the Voyager set. I completed the DS9 set. I'm sure I have a complete set of the Premiere set, but like if you know anything about Trek, there's actually 3 printings of the original set. So it's a pain to find a complete set of the Premiere set because there's there's 4 if you count the Faggio collection printed. Like I said, I haven't tried to do that, but yeah, I've collected quite a bit of Trek. It's a lot of space in a closet.
So, I mean, how would you rank, you know, rank the games? Is Star Wars the top? Is Magic the top? You know, like kind of like what was your personal, you know, favorites here and why?
I'd probably still say Magic is the top, but I've been really enjoying playing Star Wars these last couple of years. The thing about the thing about Star Wars that I've really liked, especially this year, is just the people. I'll say this about all the games. For me, the games are important, but the people are more important. And like just this year, actually starting last year, so 2024, when Steven came back to California, we did a San Diego event at a local brewery, and we got guys from like Vegas came in. Eddie from OC, who I think you've done an interview with Eddie and Rabbit.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Eddie's a homie. I really like Eddie. Jeff comes from Vegas. So we'll get like 5 or 6 players, and we'll get like a little event, and we've done that 2 years in a row now in July. And then also I went to Talaga Nights in Vegas earlier this year. So I met quite a few people in person, which is a huge plus for me. That's huge. I love When everything's on GEMP, it's all nameless. It's all names with no faces. You don't. You know what I mean? Like, that's one thing that
Yeah.
I've liked about watching your videos is I'm like, oh, that's what that dude looks like. I've played against him several times. Now I
Yes.
know him a little better. Like
Yes.
that's helpful for me. I really appreciate that.
And absolutely, and the Star Wars CCG community is a relatively small community, right?
Super
I mean,
small,
there's a
yeah.
few people come in and go. Yes, there's some nameless folks, but it's a lot of the same people, and
Agreed.
it's nice. Like I enjoyed kind of interviewing Hayes, or some of these longer term players, or Dr. Torch, because they started 20 years ago, or
Exactly. Yeah.
or before then, and they're still playing, which I think is amazing, right? And as your question, like why I want to talk to you, is because I do like putting a face to a name, right? You see this person in the forum,
Appreciate that.
and I think it's really important that we humanize this game, right? When you are playing someone
Totally. Yeah,
online,
that's great.
there is a human being on the other end. Like, it actually is important to concede and to be, generous. And you don't have to, but I'm usually try to be nice about reverts and stuff, that kind of thing. I think it's important.
Totally. Yeah, I'm the same way. Totally. Yeah. So like, yeah, I mean, just to throw a couple of names out, like the people that I've met that I've really, there's some cool people in this community, and like I met Seymour earlier this year at Vegas. I met Walrus Man, Tecmo, met Andy Talaga in person. That was pretty
Yeah.
cool. And then I mean, my Scarif boys, Eddie, Jeff, Andy, Steven, the local California / Vegas crew. Those guys are all awesome too. Like it's the people have just been probably one of the biggest pluses for me. The people have just been awesome.
I agree. And I'm really glad. I saw some of the pictures posted in the Discord, so no, I'm really glad you got to go, and I think that's great. That's truly amazing. Um, so what can I say? So, all right. So for you, obviously, you played this as a kid. Okay, you got a little annoyed later on. You came back 2023. You've been saying you're really enjoying it, right? And so you said a lot of the fun is the people, right? Okay.
Totally.
So, um, other than the people, like, obviously people are important, but like, what keeps you playing, right? Star Wars CCG.
Great question. So what keeps me playing is I love seeing something I haven't seen before. Um, I played a game super recently. I believe it was against Tenny MF.
Yeah.
I always say his name like it's a swear because it's fun for me. But so Mr. Tenny,
Yes.
he fooled me so good in this game. I was looking for the replay and I couldn't find it. I think it's too old that it's been knocked off my list. But it was something like he had put Captain Han down on a site, and then he had the Falcon out in space. But I'm thinking, that's not the Super Falcon because Han's down here. I'm gonna go after the Falcon because Captain Han's not on the ship. And so he played. It was either on the edge or off the edge to intentionally kill his Han to put Han on the Falcon, and then he smoked me with it. And I was like, wow, I fell for that hook line, and that was cool. Like, it
Nice.
wrecked me, but I also thought it was awesome,
Nice. Just a note to everyone here. If you click that link for like that beta new UI in GIMP, and you go to the new UI, thing, you go to history, it does list every single game you've played since the beginning. It's really annoying because you can't copy and paste those links. You have to manually, take a screenshot and manually type it into kind of the old replay system. You can't get it. I have 118 pages of games. I've been playing GIMP since 2021. It's ridiculous. Yeah, so yeah, go sometime, see how much you played, but
there you go. Well, I mean, yeah, wow, that's great. So yeah, I mean, I'm gonna have to remember that about the because I've used the new interface a couple of times, it's not very often. But another thing keeps me playing is like I said, I don't think I'm the best player, but I do really enjoy winning. It comes with this. It comes with being a gamer. You don't be a gamer to lose. Like it's.
Sure. Of course.
You don't get the same dopamine hit from a loss, I guess.
You're right. And for me, as soon as I lose on Star CCG, I want to play another game because I want to get that win. Yeah. Absolutely.
You're just like, oh, let's go again. Let's go again. You're like, oh, it's 1 a.m. Tomorrow we're going again. You're like, it happens. It happens. So, like I said, I don't mind. I don't mind winning. It is fun.
Okay. Awesome. All right. So we talked a little about format. So would you say Premiere Special Edition is your favorite? What would you say is your least favorite?
I'd probably just say at this point, Premiere Death Star 2 is my favorite, just because that's what we play all the time. That's what everybody plays. I have no real issues with the format. I think it's good.
Okay.
solid, pretty well balanced. There are a couple of problematic cards, but Decipher did a pretty good job of making other cards to deal with the problems.
Yeah.
Like what's the effect that gets rid of numbers comes to mind.
Yeah, you cannot hide forever / your insight serves you well.
There it
Yes.
is. That's the one. Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Yep. And that's probably the fact that that card exists and the fact that people don't have to carry kind of those interrupts from Cloud City or Java's Palace, whatever, like Torture, whatever, I forgot the name, that cancel numbers. No, you needed an effect to do that. Death Star 2 has that. So that does tame it enough. It doesn't completely kill it, which I do like just because I like, high risk, high reward stuff. I know not everyone does that. That's okay. But I feel it's officially tamped down, personally.
Yeah, it's not too bad. It was pretty bad before.
Yeah, in the modern age, yeah, actually, I never played numbers before GIMP, and I remember playing one game, and a guy was deploying droids. Like, why are you deploying random droids? Like,
What are you doing, man?
and then you're like, oh, okay, I see.
Like, ouch! Wow. Okay, now I understand. Ouch. Yeah, I've been in that space. Been in that space myself. Yes.
So let's talk a little bit about casual versus competitive play, right? So you like to win, right?
Sure.
Um, but you like to play in person, right? And you try to
I
meet
do.
people, right? So, I mean, what do you like? What's your thought about casual versus competitive Star Wars CCG, and kind of going forward with this community?
I I think the community has a pretty good balance of competitive versus casual. There's a lot of people that just throw up casual games that you could just join at any old time for any format you could want to play. There's a pretty I mean, it's obviously not a huge community, but there's a pretty good list of people that just throw up casual games on the regular. And if you could throw up your own casual game, and then you've got, there's a whole list of leagues that you could join. The I think that's one thing that Star Wars has great is casual and competitive both. Like it's got both.
I agree. I agree. Obviously, you've been in the Retro League a few years. I know Steven is thinking about, doing a survey for the next year. Any thoughts of your own of how we could improve, the Retro League experience or the retro experience in general, or kind of whatever going in the future? Any
Yeah,
thoughts? Obviously, it's not up to just you or me or whatever, but obviously,
sure.
getting your opinion kind of would be a good thing. You're part of the community, so you know.
Absolutely. So we kind of touched on it a little bit already. I'd love to see some more formats just mixed in, more modified formats. I think that part of the reason people don't want to play things like Premiere to Jabba's Palace and Premiere to Dagobah, Premiere to Special Edition is problematic cards. And you have a lot of people that Steven kind of touched on this that are, let's call them format purists, I guess, that don't want to change the formats at all. And then you have the people that, get stomped on by that. So, what I
Yeah,
mean? So I'm kind of in favor of the more modified formats, I guess would be my short answer.
I will admit to you, you see a lot more Premiere Reflections 2 modified than you do Premiere Reflections 2
Totally.
for some very obvious reasons. It's called Watch Your
Yep.
Step.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
There's no doubt. I mean, obviously we have Eddie, right? Who's kind of a purist. I'm
Mhm.
kind of a purist. There's Dr. Torch, probably purist. I'm starting to think that there's probably more people that want to play the modified than probably the pure formats, which I think, obviously, when I first started in 2021, we did have like Premier Dagobah. And I learned very
Sure.
quickly why Premier Dagobah is not
Why?
a
Yeah.
popular format, right? It's numbers all the
Yep.
way. Absolutely.
Yep.
And it seems that Premier Cloud City Modified has become fairly popular, actually.
I like that format. It's funny. So at Talaga Nights in Vegas, that came up in discussion while we're sitting there. Andy Talaga asks the group, "How do you guys like Cloud City Modified?" And Eddie, without even hesitation, immediately told us how much he didn't like it. Didn't like the what did he? His big complaint was lack of variety in the decks, and I didn't really see that the first year we played the Cloud City Modified. But the second year, this year, 2025, I did kind of see his point. There isn't a ton of viable decks for the format, unfortunately. I still think it's fun. It's just that you're going to see Weapon of an Ungrateful Son, and you're going to see Clash of Sabers, and you're going to see, the same few interrupts every game, pretty much, and then you're going to see the big boogeyman, of course, is going to be circle is now complete. You're not going to want to leave Obi-Wan by himself because he's going to get jumped. Like it's you see, like I said, you see circle is now complete pretty much every game. You see the same like 4 interrupts every game. Like, circle is now complete. Clash of Sabers, you are beaten. The barriers, of course. And it's just like you don't even see Fallen Portal. You know, it's not even in the format.
Yeah, it doesn't exist yet. Yes, that's true. Yes.
But yeah, that's kind of been the complaint on that one. But again, though, I think it's fun. I enjoy the format.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I'd be interested to see like a Premiere, Jabba's Palace modified, see how that would be, how different.
I'd love to see that.
Okay.
I keep seeing that Andy Thalaga is telling everybody he's retiring, and I'm like, well, then how are we going to get modified formats without him? He's the ban list guy. I feel like he's the one who's generated those ban lists for those other modified formats. He's a big part of the decision of what formats get played. I think.
I think he clarified the Discord. I think it's really semi-retired. I think he's just not doing as much. So I'm sure he'll be involved, but even if not, we can come up something together. I think it's possible. It seems there's demand for it. People like variety. So I guess what's your opinion? So obviously you've been playing the Retro League.
Yes.
I personally I don't play a lot of Open, and I admit in the other thing, I play Open with my childhood friend who loves Open, and that's the only person I play with. What's your opinion on kind of Open and variety? I know there's another player who said, what if we added some Open cards to the Retro? And like, what would that be? Would it still be Retro? I don't know. I mean,
I think that's a good way for people to get their feet wet, let's say. I'm kind of in the same boat as Steven. Like his answer was that he hasn't. My answer is the same. I haven't spent a lot of time learning Open. In the future, it may be something I move towards. There are a lot of people that advocate pretty hard for Open. What's his name? Frodo Light keeps telling me that I should play Open and that I'm wasting my time playing just Retro. He seems like he really enjoys it. I really like Frodo Light as well.
Very passionate, that's for sure, 100%.
Oh yeah, that's a good word for him. He's a cool dude. I always think of that song that he sang at the Beezer Bowl. It just personifies his opinion of the game. I'm having a brew with my SWCCG, and I'm just like, bro, that is awesome. I love that attitude. So again, I just need to learn Open. I don't know it at all.
Yeah, I think for me, when you see a lot of new players come, they want to play the game from their childhood, and or lots, huge card lists, defensive shield, all this kind of meta. It's intimidating,
Totally.
And I'm not really happy with where Decipher left off, personally, kind of the game.
Neither am I. I'm right with you on that.
Let's
as much product on the market as we can before we go out of business. Yeah.
No, I agree, and I think there are big issues. And hypothetically, I love the tagline of "We're continuing the game where it left off," and it's the same game, 20, 25 years. Hypothetically, I would love that,
Yeah, that is cool.
I don't love the balance, and maybe I need to play Open more. Maybe I'd feel, oh no, it's fine. Screaming Lando is the pinnacle of scum balance. All cards should be Screaming Lando. That's
some
the
people
way.
Don't like Screaming Lando. You'd be right. Yeah.
So I don't know. I probably need to kind of do a little more testing and kind of be fair-minded too about this.
Totally.
But,
yep.
No, I think that's cool. So, all right. So, I guess you mentioned earlier, maybe, I guess that sounds like you're happy where you are, or you want to increase competitively, or what's your, like you're not trying to gun for number one, or you kind of are, or what do you feel like you're kind of broken skill?
I definitely always believe in getting better. You should always be trying to improve. I understand I'm not the top of the field, but I like I said, I strive to get better. That's definitely something I'm always trying to do at every game, is just learn from the mistakes that you make. Play better next time. That's all you can really ask for, is that you learn and get better. That's what I go for.
I agree. And I think about a person on GEMP, asking what he should do about playing, games on GEMP, because he was saying that he's losing, very often, and how do I find players? And is it that some players they get like stuck, like they have a strategy they want to use and then they don't want to change? Like for you, like you didn't like battle order, battle plan, and for you, like it was tough for you to kind of accept this as a new card and build around it, kind of stuff.
I
You
mean,
know,
as a kid, it totally did. It's funny that I run battle plan in my profit deck now, so I am definitely playing. I am playing it now, so there you go. But yeah, I hear what you're saying.
so should players?
I
I mean, how stubborn should players be versus how open, for a better word, should they be towards things? You know?
I think players should always accept that there's going to be the meta element. There's going to be that group of players that are going to strive to be the top of the game, and you just have to accept that. Like that's just how it is. I watched a Star Wars CCG to the moon video fairly recently. Will I forget Will's last name, but
Tarbox, yeah.
there you go. Yeah, and he basically said, when you're in retro and you're new, you're gonna take some licks. Like it may take a round or two before you're in with somebody that's at the same level as you. And I understand that. Like you may have to lose a round or two to get to the players that are also losing a round or two. And I'm not saying that, you should shoot for the losers bracket. I'm saying that keep playing. You will eventually hit the level that you're supposed to be at, and you will find players that are comparable to you. Um, you just got to keep looking. You just got to keep looking. You got to keep playing. It's really what it comes down to. If you play a couple of games and you get discouraged and you quit, you're never going to get better. Like that's true of any game, of any workplace. Even if you get a new job and you're not perfect at it right off the bat, like what did you expect to be perfect at your new job? Like that's I don't think it's a realistic expectation, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
No, I think so. I think so too. Yeah, I think it was CM Cody. I remember his name that made a post, and I would like to be welcoming of players. Right, we're a small community. We want to grow as much as possible. And
Totally.
so, but at the end of the day, this is a complex game. It's a high strategic game, and that's kind of the appeal of it, right? That's a deep game. So
I remember when I was a kid, we used to brag that our game is more complicated than Magic. And it's like I think about that now and I'm like, oh, that's such a stupid attitude. But as a kid, I kind of like took pride in that. Oh, Star Wars is more complicated than Magic. Your game is easy. Like, yeah, but that game, survived while Star Wars did not. So, you got to look at that too.
it did. Yeah, it had its own IP, so it could kind of do what it want to.
They didn't need the license like Star Wars did. Yeah.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, Magic, you can do a lot of things, but
Mhm. Yeah,
I
totally.
still think Star Wars is probably a deeper game. I would probably say so.
I I wouldn't disagree with you. I think it's a lot of personal preference. You know what?
Yeah, sure.
And for me, like when I was in high school, there was nobody playing Star Wars CCG when I got to the high school level. Everybody was playing Magic, so it was like, do I sit in the corner and play Star Wars by myself, or do I go play
Sure.
Magic with somebody that's actually here? Like that was basically the choice.
No, it makes sense.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, cool. So speaking of personal preferences, maybe now it's time to do the deck tech, right?
Sounds good, man.
All right, cool. So in the middle, there should be like a computer with like an up arrow. That's the share
Oh yeah,
screen button when you're ready.
sounds good. Sounds good. Let's do that then. Oh, okay. Oh, it lets you choose the screen even. This is a
Yeah,
cool
you
feature I've
can.
never
You can
used
choose
Meet
whichever
before.
one. Yes, absolutely.
All right, so I'll share that one.
Okay. All right.
Awesome.
Classic No V
So
Walker Garrison.
yes, this deck was kind of an experiment, and it actually worked out pretty well. So I went with the classic No V. I was purposefully trying to find a deck that you had not done a deck tech on. Steven did a Walker Garrison deck tech, but it was
It's
like Premiere-Hoth.
Premiere-Hoth.
So like
Yes, absolutely.
it's funny how much this deck is actually based off his deck, but it's obviously a different format. There's a lot more choices, a lot more cards in the pool. But really what it comes down to is so you run your two starting interrupts, I'm sorry, your starting effects here.
Yeah.
Um, you may start your landing and I forget the name of the other one right here. Prepare for a surface attack, and then you also start you cannot hide forever and mobilization points. And the key is that you get Walker Garrison online as quickly as possible. And the way you do that is you need the 3 sites. So the effect, which one is it? The walker effect pulls the third marker. Here we go. You may
Yeah.
start your landing, pulls the third marker, and then you use mobilization points, cannot hide forever, to pull Hoth docking bay, and then you start the fifth marker, and then ideally turn 1, if you have the cards, you should be able to pull Walker Garrison on turn 2.
Nice.
I actually, the replay of the game that I have is of this deck, and it's funny, the game that I played went really poorly to start. Like, he jumped me, and I was able to recover and just drain him out because he wasn't able to stand up to me once I got some walkers down. I really like this deck, though. You don't see a non-objective deck like this very often in a format like Classic Novi. Again, it's really based off Steven's deck. A lot of it is force drain bonuses. You want to get the Emperor down, and then you want to get Janus down, and you want to get I forget the name of the effect. Was it overseeing it personally?
Yeah.
The one that makes it so the Emperor, overseeing it personally. You want to get Vader's lightsaber down. I put Mara Jade in the deck just to get her lightsaber down. It's all about draining and draining and draining on Hoth as much and as quickly as you can. If they don't come to Hoth, you're celebrating. You don't want them to come to Hoth. If they want to come to Hoth, fight them and kick them off Hoth. But like I said, if they don't come to Hoth and you're able to set up your drains, you should be able to win fairly quickly just from draining them out.
Awesome. So
that's the short version right there, but that's pretty much it. It's actually ended up putting Guri in this deck. I was really worried about Watch Your Step. So yeah, I put like Guri in there, and a later version of the I took him out, but I had put Jodo Cost in here originally just to cancel Destiny Draws.
Yeah. After more a second one. Yeah, for sure. No, it can get kind of egregious of them. So, and what you have, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You have 8 AT-ATs.
Right.
No, sorry, you actually have 9. You have 9 because one does have a front pilot there. Okay.
Oh, right. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, there is 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 9 sounds right. That sounds correct.
Yeah, very cool. So no, so with fast, really you could do turn 2. You're saying now. Yeah. Okay. And you have just one. You just have one spaceship. So you're hoping Zuckuss can do the job for you, basically.
The spaceship is kind of an afterthought. It's the space package, Ideally, you don't need it. You could pull it if you really wanted to. I have used it a couple of times. People see you're going Walker Garrison and they don't expect you to have any ships. So just having the one ship, I actually thought about going the Executor as well, just to have the second ship. But yeah, I actually have used the Mist Hunter a couple of times in this deck because people don't think you have any ships.
Nice. I like that. And so, okay, so you have 4 Walker Garrisons, 1 President of the Force. Yeah, and obviously CNV, you get the kind of the Reflections 3, helper effects, which kind of make this much more palpable. Totally. No tramples. Yeah, no tramples, so you're not really tracking your destiny very much, other than, I guess, with Twilight Advisor. I'm guessing you're expecting...
there should be a sniper in there. Yeah, sniper's right there. I do have a sniper in there. I took out I took out trample for sniper because I have all the lightsabers in there, and I was like, I've had bad luck not tracking destinies with trample before. I mean, if you are tracking, you're doing great, but if there are times where you're not able to track, and the one destiny draw has screwed me so many times, and I'm always just like, we're going with sniper, and I'm gonna draw 2 destinies just in case. Like, it's more just a personal preference thing. I've had bad luck with trample in the past, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, no, I understand. I mean, I think if you're trying to trample, you probably want like masterful move, so it's a 6, so you can at least like trample up.
Yeah, exactly. You want better tracking cards, totally.
Yeah, that probably.
Yeah, I didn't even really run with that.
Yeah, for sure. Cool, I like it. So, all right, well then, yeah, you sent me the replay. Let me share, and then we'll kind of go over the thing. All right, let me share this. Okay.
Oh, cool.
I'll share, and then we'll talk about this first game. Router now should be this one. Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, so you're starting with the Ice Plains.
Ice Plains, yeah.
Always the Ice Plains. Okay, may start your landing. prepare for surface attack, and and your arrest order.
Yep. He actually started what is it, battle plan or battle order right there?
Yeah,
which
he did. Yeah.
it doesn't matter. You just keep paying for it. Yeah, you kind of don't care about that. If your drains are set up, just pay for it. Just pay for it.
All right.
So yeah, so just like I said, you pull the docking bay there with the starting effect, and then you pull the third marker with the other starting effect. So you have your 3 sites set up right off the bat to do Walker Garrison. And so I remember this because I remember thinking, okay, I'll throw Lord Vader down at the marker. It's not going to be a problem. And then he immediately jumped on me with Obi-Wan. And so at this point, I'm kind of like, okay, I'll get a Destiny. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. And then I want to say I blanked the Destiny draw right here. Yeah, and he nails Vader with the saber. So like I said, this game started really poorly. And I blanked the Destiny draw. So Vader dies and Obi lives. And so I'm kind of panicking. So right here, what I do is I just start drawing like crazy because I'm like, I got to find an answer to that Obi-Wan because he cannot sit at the third marker if I want to win this game. And so what I do here is, so I'm like, the only thing I can do with this, with my hand here, is just stack walkers on Obi and hope that he starts a battle, which he probably won't do. So yeah, so I'm stacking the walkers on Obi. And then I want to say, I was like, do I want to start a battle with no Destiny? No, I do not. So I just slide that 1 walker over. So I've got the 4 walkers there. And I'm like, hey, start a fight if you'd like. I would be cool with that. And he's not going to do that. I guarantee you he moves. And he's starting to deploy on, he's actually starting to deploy on systems here.
Yeah.
And so I'm a little bit worried about that. But I do have that Twi'lek advisor right there. So I'm either going to, I'm trying to remember if I use the Twi'lek advisor to pull Imperial. Oh, no, I draw it. There it is right there. Yeah. So there I played a Decree so that'll slow his drains down quite a bit. Decree's huge in this deck. If you can't get Decree out early, you're in trouble.
So yeah, now his first thing was he's draining for 2 instead of 3. That's great. And draining just for 1 instead of 2. Yeah, huge.
So yeah, and I scooted back over the 2 walkers so that it would make Decree work. And then, yeah, I threw the Mara Jade with the saber down because, like I said, I want to drain at the third marker the whole game. That's the point, is you want to drain at the third marker.
Yeah, and you had 1 weapon Destiny draws too, so that's
exactly.
good.
That's another reason I wanted lightsabers there, is
the
lightsabers work great at the third marker. Yeah, and it's funny, I have the Vader's lightsaber in my hand, and I was like, well, Vader's dead, but hopefully we'll see him again here.
That'd be nice.
All right. So yeah, I'm almost online now. I've got the 2 Walker Garrison in my hand.
You're ready.
That's spread out. I really took a risk right there, and I'm just like, hopefully I don't pay for that risk. I just spread out.
Doesn't have a spot.
Yeah, I'm trying to pop the Garrison next turn, I believe is where I'm going. And it's funny because he moved into the docking bay, and I stacked up such an army at the third marker. I kept daring him to come back, and if I recall, he never did. Yeah, here we go.
All right.
So he's drawing a bunch, and I'm going to Garrison right here.
Nice. Oh, yeah, you all force in +2. Okay, 5 force. Ouch.
5
ouch. 6. 6. Oh, yeah, because of Mara Jades. Ouch.
That's what I'm saying. It's all about stacking drains on drains. Yeah. And then draining 4 on 2 empty sites is great.
Awesome.
So like, yeah, I have the Vader and the saber in my hand. So I'm thinking, where do I want to put Vader at the Wampa cave? I'm trying to remember that's what I do. Or do I want to sure up one of the other sites? Because yeah, that's another saber. It's another 1 to drain.
Biggest issue is if he he wants to fight you.
Oh yeah, I remember. I forgot he did this. This was very foolish on his part. He should not have attacked me here. I think this was a desperation move because he knew he was bleeding pretty bad at this point, and I was going to Garrison again next turn.
Well, I'm curious. But he flipped you, so he could cancel 2 of your drains. So, yeah, all right.
He can, but I also have the objective that makes it so he has to lose 1 for each. I'm sorry, the effect that makes it so he has to lose for each occupied site. So you're right. He's going to negate some of the drains, but he's still going to lose a bunch.
Okay, but he's losing 1 force from this. Oh yeah, during your control phase. Okay,
he's only got something like 6 cards left in his reserve deck too, so he's out of cards. He's out of cards.
All right, you have
1 Walker Garrison, and it took 9 cards out of his deck. That's a lot,
Okay, so he's going to take 3 damage on top of that.
I remember after he did this, he wrote into the chat, I don't know why I did that. That was very stupid. He's like, I don't know why I attacked you with Luke there. And I'm like, it stunk of a desperation move for sure. Yeah. He should not have
He
attacked.
should have canceled that one. Why did you leave the 5 open? Okay, he wasn't.
I think he's
He's
done.
giving up. He's just saying he's throwing the towel. Okay.
Exactly,
All right.
Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. All right.
Yeah, it's a fun deck. It's cool because you, like you said, you catch people off guard with no objective. A lot of times they don't think you're playing Walker Garrison for sure. Yeah. Walker Garrison's a P-Hoth deck. You know what I mean? It's very uncommon in a later format.
I tend to agree. I mean, it's really only practical. I mean, I know I think newbie ones played an AT-AT deck. I mean, it could surprise people. It's just expensive, I guess. But kind of these Reflections 2 card make it a little more efficient. So, okay.
Totally, yeah. It wouldn't be playable without the 2 effects. The 2 effects make it work in the format.
Agreed.
All
right, cool. So what else we got?
Let's see. The other deck I pulled up is a hidden base deck. Yeah. I'm kind of known a little bit for playing space. You want me to pull that?
Yeah, if you want. I know you told me before this. You love hidden base. We can do hidden base. It's okay if you love it. Show your version of hidden base. It's perfectly fine.
Hidden base, yeah. Let me find it real quick here. Yeah, okay. I felt kind of bad because I'm like, this is definitely Johnny Chu's deck, and like he did a deck on it on your channel. So I'm kind of like, am I stealing his stuff? I don't want to.
Well, I mean, Matt Sokol made a version of the hidden base X-wings, and it's okay. And Fred, he had his own version of hidden base X-wings. It's okay. All right. Okay, and yours is a little bit different because I see a few different cards here, so this is still good.
Yeah. One of the big ones I really like running the Lando and the Falcon. I love baiting a punch it. That card is so.
Would you mind mousing over for the people so they see what you're talking about?
Absolutely. Let me let's pull that up. So I'm talking about right here. So Lando and the Millennium Falcon. If they start a battle, they initiate battle, you can play punch it if Han or Lando is piloting your starfighter and defending a battle. So they have to initiate battle, and you add 2, it's the Falcon. So if you've got Lando on the Falcon, you're popping 3 destinies right off the bat, basically. It's devastating at times. It's one of the better interrupts for space, in my opinion, is punch it.
No, it's very good. No, there's no doubt it's good, and as long as they don't like first strike you and you don't have a force left. No, it's powerful.
First strike at one point.
Now to get 3 battle destiny, you'd have to have like an X-wing or some other card Lando.
He's not forward. You're right. He's not forward ability. That's correct.
Yeah.
I don't usually like to leave him by himself though, so he usually has some fighter escorts.
Yeah. No, for sure. And it stacks well. Legendary Starfighter by default says if you're the Falcon, you get extra damage on top of that. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so you kind of carried over kind of the Johnny Chu of having Legendary Starfighter and Civil Disorder and just having ways to and of course Order to Engage, to do more damage here. So
definitely, yeah. Of course, gotta have the Order to Engage. It's great. I actually played a game not too long ago where Andy Talaga was playing Hidden Base, and I hadn't seen anybody do this. He had at least 3 copies of Hyper Escape in his deck because he kept hyper escaping every time I tried to battle him, and then you have to lose the force for Order to Engage. And I was like, okay, this is kind of frustrating. I can't get in there at all because he keeps stopping me, and then I have to lose the force from the Order to Engage every time. It was a really good strategy. I've actually used a similar strategy in Profit, where I'll throw down Boshada on the audience chamber and then, Order to Engage. And then you just sit there and you go, hey, lose some force. Hey.
No, I agree. I've done the same thing. It's a mean thing, yes. And to do Order to Engage in space, your opponent needs to have 2 ships at 2 different systems so you can kind of hyper escape from one to the other. But it works well with X-wings because they have 5 hyperspeed. So usually they can, be in range of each other.
Go anywhere. Yeah, they're fast.
So I noticed you, kind of like Fred, you have docking and repair facilities. Do you find yourself kind of using that in your decks, or help me understand your choice there? I do
use that pretty regularly. Yeah, I actually really like docking and repair facilities. I like it a little bit better for Darkside, and it's called like Imperial Starfleet or whatever. It's got a different name. But especially for just little generic ships like X-wings, they're cheap. You can just throw them back on the board and losing X-wings is a very easy thing to do, especially for like battle damage and stuff. So yeah, it just I find it's a very beneficial card to have in your deck.
Okay.
Yeah,
Very
yeah, I really
cool.
like.
And so obviously 2 projection of a Skywalker. I'm
Oh yeah,
guessing,
gotta have it.
yeah, and I'm assuming you're using that mostly because of ROPS, probably.
Right, blocking force trains on Rolotier is a Tatooine as well. Yeah, not as much, but yes, any planet site you blocking force trains with a projection of Skywalker.
Yeah.
Even on Endor, sometimes you'll throw a projection of Skywalker down on Endor docking bay pretty regularly.
And so yeah, and I noticed you have exactly 5 systems, so you have to deploy Coruscant in your version. You have no spare systems.
Yes, I've actually. It's funny. That's one thing that I've kind of tooled around with. I had a long discussion with Steven fairly recently about it, and he seems to think that you should have at least 6, ideally 7 systems, because of what's the name of the effect that makes you lose a bunch of force when they find your hidden base. Security precautions.
Security precautions, correct. Yes.
Yeah.
And just because some games the drains against you are just so bad, like you want to try to get it. So yeah, I mean, personally, I tend to like 6. I mean, all of your systems. I mean, I think that you have the big 3. You have Coruscant, you have Kessel, you have Kifex. You kind of need that against ROPS.
Pretty much, yeah. Because I mean, the -1 drains basically makes Endor useless. Kurulag is kind of useless once they flip the objective. Yeah, I've played a lot of games against Rolops as hidden base, and I've heard people say it's funny to say this. I remember when I was a kid, and people would always say, "Well, hidden base is great against Rolops," and now people say, "Well, Rolops is great against hidden base," and it's like, okay, like which format are we playing? Okay, they're good against each other, I guess. So yeah, I've played that matchup quite a few times.
No, for sure. So no, I think you have most of the basic pieces. You know, rebel fleet on the left there, so you can cancel force drains with your X-wings. Johnny Chu would definitely approve of having 4 organized attacks. You know, he said no, you have to have at least 3, and 4 is better. So no, I understand.
I've gone to 3. I like 4. I like 4.
Yeah, the only thing I would say is you're still using Haven, and I don't see any place you can use Haven in your deck.
It's funny you mentioned that. I should have pulled that. Eddie gave me a bunch of crap about Haven last time because I actually have this deck in paper as well. And I played Haven, and Eddie looked at me like, dude, what's that in there for? And I just remember going, I like Haven. All right, yeah. Eddie gave me he gave me an earful about Haven, and she basically told me I should pull it. So it's on the chopping block, let's say.
I think Haven can be good sometimes, depending on the deck. But yeah, because you don't have Yavin 4, you don't have Solus, you have Hoth.
It's because I pulled Solus. Yeah, I did have Solus in the deck. That was a recent change. So yeah, Haven's got to go too, probably then.
I mean, instead of having a core lag, you could have Solus if you wanted to. But yeah,
that was the change right there. Actually, that was the change. Yeah, there you go.
Well,
and you know your hidden base, man. You know your hidden base. That's pretty fun.
Well, I do because you want to play the Parsec game, right? So core lag on the far left is Parsec 4. So if you have Solus instead of there, that means you have Parsec 7 and Parsec 2. You have kind of the extreme. So unless they have
exactly, and that's part of the reason I liked Kurulag. I also like that Kurulag has the -1 on the opponent's
force
drain.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's a little better spacing. That's pretty much what it came down to. And yeah, people keep telling me to pull Haven. I just haven't pulled it yet. Haven's on the chopping block. That's pretty
okay.
Funny. I had to laugh when you said that. Man. That's pretty funny.
All right. So if you had to pull Haven today, what do you think you'd replace it with?
Ooh, there's a couple of good choices. I kind of wouldn't mind another copy of what is it, All Wings Report In. I don't think I need it, but I love that. I really love that card. I mean, shoot, there's so many options. I keep trying to sneak Wedge into the deck, but he doesn't fit because I love canceling the Battle Destinies with the Death Star 2 Wedge. Again, though, he doesn't fit, so he's not in there. Again, and I've talked myself out of the Super Falcon so many times with this deck. Maybe a 9 nub to go in the Falcon with Lando would be cool to add the Destiny draw. That's not a bad choice.
It only works with General Calrissian.
I was just gonna say, is it only with the General? Yeah, all right. That's what I was worried about. Yep, never mind. You read my mind there. So yeah, maybe not him then, huh? It would take some thought. Maybe another system. Actually, you kind of already said that another system wouldn't hurt.
You could put another system, right? So you could put I really like Roche right? So it's
Yeah.
it's the kind of
Yeah.
asteroid system, and you can't do it. Or I like Crudo 3 because it's a Parsec 1, and so you can still kind of keep your,
Interesting.
you
Is
know,
that the one where you exchange cards out of your hand for cards in the lost pile?
that's Tybran. Tybran is
Time.
Tybran's the one you do that, which is really good for the on the edge version. Um,
Gotcha.
you
Gotcha.
know,
Okay.
or our most desperate hour. You could do it for this one, but I think it's not, it's probably not as effective potentially, but you know what I know.
Cool.
Maybe I'm wrong, you know.
No, no, I appreciate your opinion. Like I said, I love it when somebody teaches me something about the game I don't know. Like that's a huge plus for me. Even if it's against me, you know what I mean? I'm kind of like, hey, that was awesome. Thanks for showing me that. You know?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Other options, it could be a forest so that you can go to route tier. It could be a cloud, but
I
cloud's a
want to say
little.
the Andy Talaga version had a forest in it, and I cut the forest because I got tired of it. It's as soon as I draw the forest for Destiny and it can I get a 0, I don't like it in the deck anymore.
No, I understand. It's tricky.
Yeah.
Against Rops, a lot of times it's just luck of the draw. Like you really hope they
Totally.
don't
Yeah.
flip turn 2 or whatever. So
Sometimes they do. Sometimes they totally
they
do.
they do sometimes. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, cool. All right, so I think you sent me a replay. So
Oh yeah.
let's see how it went. Let me share the screen again, and let's take a look. I think it's sharing. There we go.
There it goes.
All right, cool. All right, so hidden base, you are
And it's
fighting
against
against
Fallout, naturally,
Ralops.
right?
Yeah. All right. So probably the hardest matchup for Johnny Chu
One
is
of the
probably
harder ones.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember, I specifically remember this game because I was able to sit on Rolatier. Like that's ideally what you want to do with a hidden base deck is get a ship onto Rolatier, the system, ASAP to prevent them from flipping. A smart roll ops player will have an answer to that, but it makes them overcome the obstacle if that makes sense. What did I pull? Okay, I pull the crew lag there. Yeah, so there we go. I'm gonna drop a ship. Let's see if I put a ship on crew lag and move it over. I believe that's what I do. Yep, there we go. And I'm gonna fly to Rolatier.
Good for you. Yeah.
And see, I have the I can just tell you, looking at my hand here, I have the hyper escape right there, so I'm way more confident. Way more confident.
You do. And it might have been even if you did attack, you might be good to use organized attack just so you don't have to move. Because as soon as you
Sure.
move,
Yeah, possibly too.
but
I'm pretty sure I remember what happened, so I want to say I needed that hyper escape. Wow, draining a Rolatier system is always fun for lead side. Yeah, take that.
absolutely.
I remember the first time I saw Rollops, I was like in 7th grade. The special edition had just dropped, and first time I'd seen an objective was the guy I played against played Rollops, and I blew my mind. Yeah, it was an eye opener for a 7th grader.
Just because it was fast, or just because it was quick drains, or what was so eye opening
The
about it?
big thing that opened my eyes was when he flipped the objective. All my force drains went -1, and I went,
Oh,
what do I do now?
yeah, it's awful. Absolutely.
Yeah, and then he started a battle, and he added like 4 to his destiny, and I went, well, this is crazy, man. So yeah, okay. So I'm definitely trying to set up I'm always trying to set up the drain at Kessel. Yeah, there we go. He drops the executor on Roladier. Like I said, I'm very thankful that I had the hyperscape, and I've also learned the hard way to save 2 force instead of 1 for that hyperscape in case they play like first strike or one of
You're
those
right.
things that makes you. Because I have been hosed by that one a couple of times. So yeah, like I said, I've learned the hard way to save 2 instead of 1. And I think I'm only draining for 1 because I haven't flipped yet, but I should flip like in a turn or 2 here. I'm getting pretty close. I've got Kessel in my hand too, so that's 1 less I have to pull out of the deck.
No, this is the Sullust version. Okay, all right.
Oh, okay, so there you go. My bad. I sent you the changed version. So this is why I had Haven in the deck. My bad. This is an older version. It's not intentional. Sorry about that.
All
But
good.
it's the same deck. It's a little changed. Yeah.
All good.
Yeah. It's like I said. It's predominantly the same deck.
See,
I changed the system at one point.
I
Yeah.
understand either. Okay, he could have spread out. Now maybe he was afraid of getting ganked. I guess to me,
I thought it was weird he stayed at the site with the. Yeah, I thought it was weird too. I wouldn't. It's funny. I wouldn't put guys at the prefixed office normally. I always put them at the. I like the forest and the jungle personally, just because I feel like you're a little safer at the forest and the jungle.
Well, he wants the +1 thing, but also just the fact that he's not here. It'd be nice. I guess he doesn't need a ton of extra, but I like the activation. I don't know. I would have probably spread out if I were him, because after you deployed all your cards, what's your chance at Obi-Wan? Now maybe you would have had Obi-Wan. Maybe maybe he's playing safe. Okay, whatever. Um,
Oh, see, I have the opportunity to. This is another thing I've learned about playing this deck is I'm not flipping intentionally because I'm going to wait for his turn to flip because it gives him one less chance to probe, and then it'll screw up his draws. So it's a very little strategic thing, but like just waiting a minute to flip that objective is a huge difference. It's funny he didn't even try to drain there. Yeah, he can't. You can't drain yet.
So he did a flip, but he's leaving 2 sites open. I don't know what he's doing.
Yeah. Okay. I think he's got a pretty good guess that I'm not going to attack that hard on Raltier. He's like, this guy's got a lot of X-wings. He's probably going to stick with X-wings. Yeah, it was smart of him to. I would have ganked the what do you call it, Dengar right there if he left Dengar by himself. That was smart to move the Executor over. I would have definitely hit him right there. I've got a copy of short range fighters or all fighters reported. I always get the
wings reported. Yep.
All rings reported. There we go. I'll start the dark side version thinking it's a light side. I do that all the time. And then I have 3 copies of organized attack. I would have dropped an organized attack, lost to pull 3 ships out, and then gone right after him. Yeah. It's too bad he did that, but it was a smart move.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so yeah, you're just eating the drains. Okay. You don't want to deploy Obi-Wan. Okay. So is there a reason why you didn't want to deploy Obi-Wan and just try to flip and move, or you're just trying to be conservative, or what here?
Because I'm blocking all of his drains on the system, I kind of don't care about it.
Okay.
He's draining for 1 total, and I'm like, I can cancel that 1.
Okay.
So like I said, he's not threatening me at all. That's why I don't care. Like,
right, you're right, and he has a ton of cards there. So you're right. So you can afford to wait and just drain him, even if it's just 2.
Not threatening me at all. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Makes sense.
Yeah, and the 3 copies of organized attack in my hand, I'm just like, do I want to pull? Yeah, he plays security precautions.
Yeah, he should have deployed search and destroy later. I guess he rolled with it. I mean, okay, all right.
Yeah, he's starting to spread out on Raltier. So now I'm kind of like, okay, you got to deal with Raltier because he's starting to spread out. He's got a couple of better drain sites. And then I pulled another Presence of the Force because that's how I roll. Let's block another drain. So I want to say I throw it on the Forest, right? And then, so I'm blocking 3 out of 4 drains on Raltier. I don't care about that. Like, you know what I mean? It's completely like you can put as many guys on a site that I have a spy on as you want, and I'm not going to care because I don't have to.
Okay, so he used Tarkin's order to cancel. You could be worse. So he had a.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that was a really good play. So when I went to Talaga Nights in Vegas, I played against Jeff Red 5, and he blew my hidden base deck up. I remember he was playing Mio Monith, the alien from, I forget if it's from Premiere or A New Hope, that like pulls males out of your hand. So he blasts my hand and then he hits me with security precautions, and I'm like, bro, I can't do anything now. Like he shut me down so hard that I was like, bro, you got to help me out. How do I deal with this? And his answer was, you need to save. It could be worse for security precautions. So as soon as I have that, it could be worse in my hand, I'm looking for security precautions because like that's what it's for. So when he played that Tarkin's orders, I was just kind of like, well, damn, you answered my answer. I don't even know what to say to that. And like, I just remember being impressed. It was another time, like he showed me something like, wow, I've never seen somebody play Tarkin's orders to cancel like that. That was a great play. I had to give him credit. He answered my answer really well. And so, yeah, I'm going to move into his site because it's a drain 1 versus the drain 0 on, I want to say I get off Endor quickly. Yeah, because there's no drain on Endor. Oh, I said I changed Karulag to from Sullust. It was actually Coruscant. I've messed that up.
Okay,
yeah, I think one of these games is why I put Coruscant in, because you need the extra drain. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. He's going to keep probing until he finds my hidden base. Or he just found the hidden base right there. I'm sorry. He just found my hidden base.
Yeah.
So I'm a little worried, but at the same time, I'm still blocking like almost all of his drains. So I'm still not that worried. And I'm intentionally trying to get as many X-wings out as I can, because I'm going to look for all wings report in.
Yeah.
I try and do that every game if I can, because I have something like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have 9 or 10 X-wings out right now.
Yeah, you have 10. You have 10 exactly.
That's a huge retrieval,
That's true.
And he's not running secret plans, which is great.
No, he's not.
Okay, so yeah, I remember this. So right here, I'm like, okay, it's time to hit him because he just pulled that ship off the executor. And I have the X-wing laser cannon in my hand, and it's one of my favorite cards. The X-wing laser cannon is so cool. Smart play by him. Getting rid of my. It's too late though. I'm gonna retrieve like 10 force right now. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna retrieve the force. He grabbed it, but I don't care. I'm like, oh, cool. It's already gonna go off, dude. Yeah. So that puts me way up right there. And then yeah, so now I think what I'm gonna do is, do I draw cards first or do I hit him? I'm gonna hit him right here at Kessel. I've got the X-wing laser cannon. I can feel it. I'm coming at him. It's interesting. I didn't play Order to Engage. It's because we didn't have anybody at the same sites. Yeah, there we go. So I play Han to block his left. So I have 4 out of 4 sites on Rollicher completely blocked from draining.
True. Yeah, he doesn't have overseeing a person with the Emperor, so yeah, it works. Yep.
Oh, maybe I hit him at crew line. Oh, shoot, I forgot about Boskin and Houndstooth. But yeah, he's gonna move over and I'm gonna hit him. I know I keep saying that. It's gonna happen, I promise. The dragons are coming. It's not just, a thing. Yeah, there we go. Here we go. Yeah, so I'm gonna hit him now. And I think I shoot his ship because okay. And so I move Han over because I've got punch it in my hand right there, and I'm baiting the punch. Oh, and I drew the I drew the what's it called right there? Organized attack too. So I'm like, let's go. I'm ready. I've got my my interrupts. Let's do it.
Okay, so he deployed the guys there. He's thinking he can forfeit this guy. He's thinking he's fine.
So I'm gonna organize attack and punch it right here. He shouldn't have. I mean, I'll be honest. He shouldn't have battled here. But it's not like he knew what was in my hand, So I want to say he gets. I think he just gets 1 destiny, right? But he cancels my immunity to attrition with the Hounds or with Dengar right there. Yeah.
True. Yeah.
So yeah, popping to 10 destiny is gonna hurt,
Legendary Starfighter, that's gonna hurt.
And a Legendary Starfighter at the same time, yeah. And so yeah, I'm gonna use docking repair facilities for an X-wing there because it's like whatever. And so now that I have Legendary Starfighter, I think he's gonna quit here pretty quick because the Legendary Starfighter just starts adding up.
He has almost no force. He's almost dead here. Yeah, he's gonna lose. He doesn't have enough.
And so yeah, now I'm just kind of bullying. I'm like, hey, let's go here too. Let's fight. And yeah, he's not going. This game's over. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely Johnny Chu's X-wing deck. I got to give Johnny Chu the credit. It's definitely his deck to begin with, but I've made it my own. I really like the X-wings.
Nice. No, it's a fun deck, and it's interesting. It's something you don't see in later formats very much. Kind of the chess game aspect of kind of going back and forth here. Because kind of Tarkin's Order is kind of with the Premiere. I forgot what was it called when they had Premiere Sealed Deck, whatever it's called.
Oh, it was, yeah, it was a premium card like Sealed Deck or Jedi Pack or something. Yeah, you're totally right. I think Sealed Deck's correct. Yeah. Yeah, like you said, he played Tarkin's Orders, and I was like, I don't think I've ever seen somebody play Tarkin's Orders before. That was a first. It's cool though. I thought it was cool.
No, I agreed, and I saw Wormtime use Tarkin's Orders in his deck a little bit later, so it still has a use. So it's still, it's interestingly enough in some decks.
Yeah, no, he used it well. I was impressed. It's funny you mentioned Wormtime. Yeah, I was totally the only reason that I keep thinking about him is for the GEMP PC. He and I were the only 2 players to make it to top 16 that were unranked. It's a little stat. I've followed him a little bit because him and I did the best from round 1 for the GEMP PC. Obviously, everybody that made top 8 or better was ranked. They all were seeded players. Right. Wormtime and I were not seeded, and we both made it to top 16, which I was very proud to do. One of the better events that I've had was this the GEMP PC. I felt like I did pretty well.
Awesome.
I hope we do it next year. I saw your forum post asking for feedback. I hadn't replied to that yet, but I think we should definitely do it.
I think it'd be fun to do. No, I think Dark Deal and Mandarin, they're the type of players that kind of like to use like a certain selection of decks, and they don't want to be overly punished because someone techs against them, which I understand.
I know that feeling.
I get it. I will admit I love taking against people, but I do understand their perspective. So no, I think it could be a fun change. I think it'd be worth trying. So
I'm totally
no,
cool with it.
I passed the idea around. I told Steven about it, so maybe it'll be part of the survey. So but yeah, I think I'd love to run that. I think it'd be fun. So let's see what people think.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it. Thanks for the opportunity, by the way. I really wanted to thank you for this. I've been watching your content here and there, and I really like your interviews. I really like being able to see what the players look like. I really like it. I've played a lot of like online video games over the years. I used to be a pretty hardcore MOBA player, Battlefield player, and all my friends, we all use like voice chat. And when I started playing Star Wars CCG, I remember I would join voice channels, and nobody would join with me. And I'm like, these guys don't like to talk. Like, I remember being like, hey, you guys want to chat while we played? And I got a pretty negative response, to be honest, until I played Teacher. He was the first person that was like, hey, you want to join voice channel and we can talk the whole time? And I was like, all right, I found a cool guy. Finally. Thank you.
Nice.
Thank you, Charlie. You've been awesome. Like, so yeah, I've never forgotten that Charlie was the first person to join a voice chat with me and actually have a conversation while we played. And I was like, I like this. I love this. It's part of the reason I prefer playing in person is there's another person on the other side. And if you can't see him, it's like you're playing against the computer or something.
I think that's a great point. I think I did a voice chat on Holotable years ago before GIMP came out, and that was nice. So no, I didn't know you like voice chat. Yeah, sure. So if we meet, we can do voice chat sometime. I think that'd be great. If other people do that too, I
Cool,
think that'd
man.
be cool. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, like I said, my friend, I had a friend who had like a TeamSpeak server going like way back. Like, I don't know if you're even familiar with like Ventrilo,
Hmm.
TeamSpeak. What's the other big one? Mumble. Like,
Yeah.
my friends have always used VoIPs. Like, we've used voice chats for a long time, and it was kind of a surprise for me when the Star Wars guys wouldn't do it. So I don't know. It's just my personal
I,
preference.
I think because GIMP is kind of rules enforcement, which I think is a good thing. And I think some of
Totally.
these games, like I did like Cockatrice for Magic the Gathering a while ago,
Mhm.
you kind of have to do voice chat. It kind of like to help the game go around, like you have to be able to talk. So, you
It's a
know,
good point, actually. Like, because I know Steven plays. He's been working on me to get me to play Lackey or to get on Lackey to play Star Trek again.
right.
And so he's been slowly working on me, and I'm like, you kind of would have to play on voice chat because there's no rules enforcement. So like, yeah, I totally see what you're saying. That if there's the rules enforcement, you don't necessarily need voice chat.
Probably so. But no, I think no, that could be a nice humanizing aspect to the game, and maybe people will be nicer if you're on voice chat. So that's
Totally.
certainly that would be a good thing.
It's really easy to be mean to someone you don't know or can't see. I totally agree with that. Yeah. It's way easier to be mean to someone you don't know.
Of course. No, there's studies about that, right? If you can't see someone's face, all
Yep.
sorts of stuff. So no,
It's
definitely
the
good to
classic,
humanize people.
the Milgram experiment or whatever, where they shocked the guy. Yeah,
Yes,
that's not good. Yes, but yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
absolutely.
Yep.
100%. Well, cool. No, I've really enjoyed our conversation.
Me too, man.
And
I really appreciate it.
yeah, any other thoughts or advice or anything you want to share before we head out?
Maybe a story or two
Yeah.
about childhood with Steven. I'm not
Yeah.
going to embarrass you too bad, dude. Don't worry about it. Because he
And
taught me how to play. And
sorry, real quick, would you mind? You're still
sorry,
sharing your screen. Maybe people could see your face if you don't mind.
you
Okay.
can't see my face. I'm sorry. I didn't even realize.
No, you're fine. No worries.
Sorry about that. You see
Yeah.
me now?
Yes. See you
My
now.
apologies.
Yeah.
I didn't realize you couldn't see me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Steven taught me to play when we were in fourth grade, and then we started going to tournaments. So when Jabba's Palace dropped, they started starting interrupts became a thing, and so Steven had come up with this deck. He kind of alluded to it. I was waiting for him to mention it during his interview. Um, it would be considered pure jank now, but so what he had done was he took nighttime conditions and he start Tatooine and he put nighttime conditions on on Tatooine, and then he would run the alien that's just called, I think it's called Snivians or Snuvians, something like that.
Yep. Yep.
And they get +2 power under nighttime conditions. And so his whole thing was these aliens are super powerful at common, and so I'm going to run a deck of them. And I told him it was a terrible idea. I remember initially I was like, bro, I don't like those Snivians. I don't think you should make that deck. And so at a tournament, we ended up playing against each other, and he ran the Snivian deck, and he beat me by 2 cards. I'll never forget it. He made me eat my words because he beat me with his Snivian deck at the tournament, and it was like, I appreciate him not rubbing it in too much. I doubt he even remembers it really, but I told him it was a bad idea, and then he showed me up.
Underestimated your opponent. Classic story.
My jank deck did not match the Snivian jank deck. It just didn't work out, you know. Yeah, but like I said, I really appreciate this, man. I when I saw Steven's interview, I watched the whole thing like immediately. It's great. I love what you're doing here. I want to support as much as I can.
Well, it's been a pleasure, Carter, and appreciate you on. And yeah, let's definitely talk and connect later, sir. So,
hey, man, yeah, if you need to reach out, feel free. I appreciate it very much.
awesome. All right.
Thank you.
Take care. Thank you.
Thank you, man. Nice.